Listen carefully. Sit down, quiet your mind, and hear this like a son hearing his father for the first time. I'm an old man now. I've watched people chase money until their knees gave out. I've seen men build empires and still sleep with fear in their hearts. I've seen women pray for peace while holding pockets full of cash that couldn't buy a single night of rest. So let me tell you something most people never understand. There is a hidden gospel secret, and once you understand it, wealth, peace, and salvation stop being separate things. They become one path. But here's the hard truth. Most people want God to give them money. Very few want God to change them. That's the difference. You see, the gospel was never just about going to heaven. It was about transformation. When a man truly understands God's message, his thinking changes, his habits change, his character changes. And when a man changes, his life changes. That's the secret nobody talks about. People pray for blessings, but they refuse discipline. They pray for opportunities, but they avoid responsibility. They ask for wealth, but they ignore wisdom. And wisdom is where real wealth begins. Let me speak plainly. Peace comes first, then clarity, then direction, then wealth follows, not the other way around. A man without peace will destroy his own blessings. A man without purpose will waste every opportunity placed in front of him. A man without salvation will gain the whole world and still feel empty. That's why the gospel is powerful. It fixes the inside before the outside. And once the inside is right, money becomes a tool, not a master. I've watched people who were once lost become focused, once angry become calm, once confused become sharp, and suddenly doors started opening for them. Not by magic, by alignment. When your heart is clean, your mind becomes clear. When your mind is clear, your decisions become better. When your decisions become better, your life becomes stable. And stability creates wealth. This is the hidden pattern. The gospel teaches patience in a world that rushes, discipline in a world that wastes, faith in a world that fears. And those three things alone will put a man ahead of 90% of people. Let me tell you something most young people don't want to hear. God is not just preparing you for heaven. He is preparing you for responsibility. Real wealth is given to people who can carry it without destroying themselves. That's why some people struggle for years, not because they are cursed, but because they are being shaped. You don't give a child the keys to a mansion. You don't give a reckless man millions. You don't give power to someone who cannot control their emotions. The gospel builds your character first, and character is the container that holds wealth. Without it, everything leaks. Now listen closely. Peace gives you purpose. Purpose gives you direction. Direction gives you discipline. Discipline creates consistency. Consistency builds wealth. This is the system. But here is the part people miss. Peace is the greatest wealth of all. A man who can sleep without fear, that is wealth. A man who wakes up with purpose, that is wealth. A man who knows his soul is secure, that is the highest wealth. Money comes and goes, but peace stays. So stop chasing money like it is the answer. Chase growth, chase wisdom, chase God. Because when a man walks the right path, the right things begin to follow him. Opportunities start appearing, people start trusting him, doors start opening. And one day, he looks around and realizes he has peace, he has provision, he has purpose. That is the hidden gospel secret. Not a shortcut, not a miracle lottery, but a transformation that builds a life strong enough to carry blessings. So if you want wealth, don't start with money, start with your heart. If you want peace, don't start with comfort, start with faith. If you want salvation, don't wait for tomorrow, start today.